But is it really your work if AI helped? Isn't that kind of cheating, is what they're saying? And I need you to hear me on this because I feel this one really deeply. Tools are not cheating. Tools are how God given ideas get out into this world. My dad's photocopier was just a tool. It turned 3 hand drawn newsletters that we had into a neighborhood pet sitting business for us, where we actually made money. The calculator was a tool. It didn't take away the math, but it freed us up to do more of it. And AI is a tool. It doesn't take away your calling. It doesn't replace your unique story. It doesn't think for you. It just frees you up to do more of what only you can do. Hey girl, if life handed you a plot twist, a divorce, a layoff, an empty nest, or you're just ready to reinvent your life and write the best chapter yet, you're in the right place. It's not a midlife crisis, it's a calling. Hey, I'm Lori Ann, Christian AI business coach, single divorce mom of 2 miracle babies, and the woman who rebuilt her entire life from her mom's living room floor while homeschooling my kids, working full-time, and earning my MFA in creative writing. And I built a 6-figure business on the side while doing all of it, by the grace of God. We're putting God first, family second, and AI third. And God, He is never late. Hey girl, and welcome back to the Midlife Comeback Club podcast. I'm Lori Ann, and I'm so glad that you're here. And today's episode, we are talking about financial freedom and faith, not in a vague, trust God and it'll work out kind of way. In a roll up your sleeves, like God gave you this calling and a brain kind of way, okay? Because I think a lot of us are really good at the faith part. I really do. You know, I think a lot of you women out there are praying, you're journaling, you're believing that God has a plan for your life. I really think that's what I hear a lot of from you. But somewhere between, I feel like the prayer and the plan, you kind of stall out. You get a little lost. And I know because I've been there. But today I want to talk about why and what you can do instead. But before I do, I have to tell you about something so exciting that's actually happening next week. Yes, next week already. I can't believe it. But on Thursday, June 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm hosting a free live masterclass. It's completely free, and it's called the Faith Powered AI Blueprint. And it's how to build your coaching business in 90 minutes a day. And this is a live kind of interactive experience where I'm going to show you, not just tell you about it, okay, but show you exactly how I use AI to run a coaching business in just 90 minutes a day. And I'm going to help you find your specific God-given calling to coach so you can build your own coaching business. We're going to build a coaching offer live on screen with AI, and then you can do it for yourself. And there's a few other surprises that I don't want to mention yet, but you have to show up live to see it. But I think you're going to be really blown away by this. And you're going to leave that masterclass with a completely different picture of what is actually possible for you. And you can register now. The link is up. It's calledtocoach.loriannfeely.com. That's calledtocoach.loriannfeely.com right now. And you can save your seat. The link's in the show notes, and there will be limited spots available because we're going to be building live. And I want to give you as much personal attention as I possibly can during that class. But I'll talk about it more at the end of today's episode. But for right now, let's get into today's talk, okay, on financial freedom with faith and AI. Can I ask you something? And I want you to actually sit with this question and not just nod and say, yeah, whatever. When is the last time that you actually did something? I mean, like something real and concrete toward the financial future that you've actually been praying about? Not thought about it, not just like pinned it on Pinterest and not said, oh, I'll start when the kids go back to school or when they get older, I'll figure it out after the holidays. You know, you actually did something. Because here's what I've noticed, and I say this with so much love, okay? Because I have been there. And a lot of us are incredibly faithful. And we're talking to our friends like, yeah, we have faith. God has a plan, all the things, right? And we're showing up in worship and we're trusting God with whether it's our marriage or our kids or our health. But when it comes to finances and our income and our economic future, we're kind of like waiting for this burning bush. You know what I mean? Like we're waiting for a sign so obvious that even we can't miss it. And I want to just gently and kind of lovingly tell you today that that bush, girl, has been burning for quite some time now. And you just haven't seen it, or you just haven't moved toward it yet. And if that lands like a little sideways, I totally get it. I'm not saying that you haven't tried. I'm not saying you haven't wanted it, like more than anything. I know the weight of really wanting something and not knowing how to go about reaching it. And I know what it's like to be a really smart, capable woman and still completely lost all at the same time, because that's what I felt like for years. And I know what it's like to really feel financial freedom is a thing that happens to only other women, but not you. Women who had better timing, right? Or they have better luck in their lives, or they have better resources, or they didn't struggle the way I did. Not a woman like in your season is this possible for, you think, right? Or with your story, or with all the responsibilities that you're carrying. And if that's you, I want you to know something. Financial freedom is for you. You're not behind. You're not too late. And that desire that you have for financial freedom, that didn't come from somewhere else. It wasn't from some Instagram ad you saw or Facebook ad. That really came from God. So just stay with me on this, okay, today, because I'm going somewhere here. I don't think I've ever told this story before. I've always got lots of cool little stories. And sometimes even I forgot the stories until I have to think about what story would really be pertinent for this episode, right? But I was remembering this one the other day because when I was a little girl, and we're talking probably late 70s here or early 80s, and I'm about to age myself in the best possible way, and that's okay. But I didn't spend a lot of time playing with Barbies. I love Barbies. And actually, my sister was really into Barbies. She had like the whole Barbie dream house. And of course, she let me use it. And I wasn't opposed to Barbies. But if you really wanted to know what I really like doing, you would find me in our basement at our house, sitting behind my dad's old mahogany desk. I remember he had, and he had this really big, it was like a red leather chair with the studs in it. It was real old school. It was just so super cool. And I would sit in that chair and I would just pretend to be running an office. He had this actual, I always laugh when I see the red phone in the Oval Office at the White House because it looked just like that. And it didn't have the punch numbers. It had the actual dial where you had to dial the numbers and the whole thing. And at any moment, I felt like, oh, the president's going to call, But I would sit there and I'd answer that phone like I was running a very important business. Like I'd say, hello, thank you for calling. How can I help you today? And I had this little pad on the desk with a special pen. And I'd pretend that I was calculating cost of the items, whatever they were calling to order. And I remember the specific day that my dad came home from work and he brought home this calculator. Girl, I mean, a real calculator. One of those great big ones that didn't need to be plugged in. It actually ran on batteries because we had like an old school one too. He used to have that had like the punch numbers and really big numbers, and it would plug into the wall and the whole thing. But this one like ran on batteries, and that was a very big deal at the time. And I can't explain to you how exciting that was to a 7-year-old, who was pretending to do pretend math on a scratch paper for these pretend clients that I had. And I would punch in the numbers and I'd read the display like I just discovered electricity or something. And here's the thing, I wasn't playing house. I wasn't playing school. I was actually playing CEO. And I look back now and I realize, wow, it was inside of me, the entrepreneurial spirit, even at that young age. I was sitting behind my desk. I was answering a phone and processing imaginary orders and using the most advanced technology available to run my little play operation that I had. And fast forward a few summers, I'm probably, I guess, 10 or 11 at that point. And my sister and I and a girl in our neighborhood decided to turn that pretend business into a real one. We actually got a real cool idea that we needed to make a little extra money for the summer. And my mom had thrown out the idea of babysitting, and we kind of didn't want to do that. And we decided to create this little newspaper, and we called it Helping Hands. And we put together a little booklet. We stapled the pages together with the construction paper. And I actually drew out the little comic. We had a comic strip inside, and we had like a little memo that we wrote to the neighbors and all these different little things. We made up ads in the paper. But we decided that we wanted to run like a pet sitting business that summer. And so we had advertised in there that we'll watch your animals for X amount of dollars. I think we got like $10 or $20 a visit if they were going out of town or if they were working. And it was really cool. And we had all of these little things like hand drawn in there by three girls who had no idea what they were doing. And we had all the confidence in the world that we were going to pull it off anyway. And then we asked my dad to make photocopies because he had a photocopier at his office. And now, again, I want you to understand this era, right? Because photocopies were not a given at the time. The ability to take something you made by hand and reproduce it like multiple times perfectly, that was genuinely exciting technology at the time. We didn't have to redraw every single issue with our hands, right? We could just make copies. And we advertised that pet sitting service inside that little newsletter. And we walked around to all the houses in this really big neighborhood. And girl, it worked. We got a lot of business from it. And we got some actual clients, real neighbors with real pets who actually paid us real money. And that was like my first taste of real entrepreneurship was me, my sister, and a neighborhood friend and a stack of these hand-drawn newspapers that we had created and distributed with a photocopier. And here's why I'm telling you this, because every generation has had its new thing, I think, like every single one, right? The photocopier was once new, or the calculator was once new. And you know what happened when people started using calculators in schools? Teachers thought the students were cheating. You can't just use a calculator. That's not real math. Sound familiar? Right? Because right now, at this very moment, women are saying the same thing, I think, about AI. But is it really your work if AI helped? Isn't that kind of cheating, is what they're saying? And I need you to hear me on this because I feel this one really deeply. Tools are not cheating. Tools are how God-given ideas get out into this world. My dad's photocopier was just a tool. It didn't take away the math. It turned hand-drawn newsletters that we had into a neighborhood pet sitting business for us, where we actually made money. The calculator was a tool. It didn't take away the math, but it freed us up to do more of it. And AI is a tool. It doesn't take away your calling. It doesn't replace your unique story. It doesn't think for you. It just frees you up to do more of what only you can do. And there's a verse in Proverbs 14:23 that I have really been sitting with lately. And it says, all hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. That's not a hustle culture verse. That's a woman of God kind of verse. Because it doesn't say all complicated work brings a profit. It doesn't say all self-sufficient work brings a profit, right? It says hard work, working with intention, working with a plan. And girl, using the tools God has allowed to exist in this generation, that is faithful hard work. The woman at the well didn't carry water with her hands. She used a jar. The Proverbs 31 woman didn't weave cloth with her fingers. She used a spindle and a loom. Every generation of women who built something really meaningful used the most powerful tools available to them. And you are no different. And AI is your generation's most powerful tool that you have in your hands right now. So how do we actually get from I've been praying for financial freedom to actually building it? That's the real question. And I want to give you 3 shifts today that I think will really help. 3 things that separate the women who talk about financial freedom from the women who actually go out there and create it. Because I have been both women and I know the difference. So number 1, stop waiting for a feeling and start with a decision. This is the one no one wants to hear, but it's the most important one. And we want to feel ready, right? We want to feel confident. We want to feel called. And here's the truth. Most of the time, those feelings show up after we've made the decision, not before. I did not feel ready when I started my businesses. I did not feel qualified. I felt terrified, honestly, but I made the decision to say yes to some of those first clients, even when I wasn't sure that I could actually deliver. And the confidence that I built came through the doing. And that little girl that was sitting at the mahogany desk with the red phone, she didn't wait to feel like a CEO. She just sat in the chair first. And that's exactly what I want you to do. You make the decision and the feelings will follow. I promise. Number 2, separate faith from passivity. This is a big one. And I want to say it gently because I know this community loves God so deeply, and so do I. But I have watched women use faith as a reason not to act. They'll say things like, I'm just waiting on God's timing. If he wants me to do it, oh, I know he's going to open the door. And listen, yes, God will open those doors. Absolutely. He has opened many, many doors for me. But girl, he also gave you 2 hands, a brain, and decades of hard-earned wisdom. And you have to remember that. The Israelites crossed the Red Sea, right? But they still had to walk across. God parted the water. Yes, he did. But they still had to move. So financial freedom with faith is not passive. It's not something you sit back and watch. It's the most active, intentional, forward-moving version of trust that there really is. It looks like, I believe God has a plan for me, and I'm going to show up to build it. That's what it really looks like. It's doing both at the same time, not one or the other. Number 3, use the tools of your generation without apology. I keep thinking about those kids who got in trouble for saying they were cheating when they used a calculator, right? And how now, 40 years later, we look back and think that was so ridiculous. You know, we've all got calculators on our phone, which, I mean, for most complicated math problems, we all still use it. And of course, they should be using their calculators, right? And I promise you, girl, we're in this calculator moment with AI right now, I think. 10 years from now, we're going to look back on this season, this exact moment we're living through right now in history, and you will know that the women who said yes to AI tools built businesses so much faster and a lot better with less burnout in less time, I think, than any generation of entrepreneurs before them. That's just the reality of what's going on. And the women who said, oh, but I feel like I'm cheating when I use AI because it's not really me and it's doing work for me. And I feel like that's me being lazy or something. That's what I hear a lot of Gen X women saying. They're going to look back and wish they had started sooner, learning how to do these things. You have 90 minutes a day. I know you can find it. It doesn't have to be all at once. It can be broken up throughout your day. You have a really unique God-given story that he's given you. And you have wisdom that took you decades to earn already. You're in midlife. You've done the work, girl, in definite different areas of your life. And you now have access to tools that can turn all of that into this amazing business to help other people. A real business in a fraction of the time it would have taken even a couple years ago. And that's not cheating. You've done the hard work over the last few decades. That's faithfully using what God put in your generation right now. So here's what I want you to walk away with today, okay? Financial freedom with faith is not some sort of waiting game. It's a building game. And you, girl, you were made to build. That is what God is calling you to do. I knew that as a 7-year-old sitting behind a mahogany desk down in my basement with a red phone. And you probably knew it too. Maybe not in that way, but in a different way, in a different place. But there was a version of you that always knew that you were made for something more. You know right now, sitting there, that you are made for something more. And you keep ignoring it. You have been patient. You've been quiet. You've been putting everybody else first. And you've been waiting for somebody to tell you it's finally time. And girl, if you need somebody to tell you, I will tell you right now, it's time. There's never been a better time in history for you to start your own coaching business right now. And your calling is not canceled. Your comeback's not behind you. It is definitely in front of you. I can tell you that. And that financial freedom that you've been praying for all these years, it's not some distant dream reserved for other women than you. It's for you. It's on the other side of your decision that you get to make today. So before we go, I want to tell you about the decision you can make right now. It's absolutely free. And it's something really exciting that's happening next week, okay? On Thursday, June 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm hosting my free live masterclass. It's completely free. All you have to do is register and sign up. It's called the Faith Powered AI Blueprint: how to build your coaching business in 90 minutes a day. And this is going to be a live interactive experience where I'm going to show you, not just tell you, but show you exactly how I use AI to run a coaching business in a couple different ways in 90 minutes a day. And we're going to find your God-given calling that you're meant to coach. I'm going to build something live on screen, and we're going to develop a coaching offer that's customized where you can do it for yourself too. And I'm going to show you how to carve out your 90 minutes a day, 5 days a week for 90 days to build the foundation of your coaching business with AI. And you're going to leave that masterclass, I'm telling you, girl, with a completely different picture of what is actually possible right now for you. So if you've been praying for financial freedom, if you've been waiting for the clarity on what your next chapter is going to look like, this masterclass is the answer to that prayer. Registration is completely free. The link is in the show notes, but it's calledtocoach.loriannfeely.com. It's CALLEDTOCOACH.LORIANN, F as in Frank, EELEY.com. So do me a favor and just say yes to yourself. Click the link in the show notes and show up on June 25th, and let's build this thing together. Okay, so thank you so much, girl, for being with me here today. Truly, if this episode stirred something inside of you, please share it with another woman in your life who's been praying for financial freedom but hasn't yet started building it. She needs to hear this today. So tag her, text her the link, whatever you need to do, just get it into her hands. And let me leave you with this. You were not born to just survive the second half of your life. You were built to build something with it. And that red phone is waiting for you. That chair is empty. So go sit in it. And until next time, keep putting God first, your family second, and trust that the system is coming next Thursday, June 25th. So please check it out and get yourself registered. I'll catch you back here for the next episode. Thanks so much for listening. Hey girl, I hope today's episode gave you a little faith, a little fire, and maybe even a next step you didn't have when you pressed play. So if it did, would you take 30 seconds and share it with one woman in your life who needs to hear this right now? And if this podcast has been speaking to your heart, I would absolutely love it if you leave me a quick review over on Apple Podcasts. It helps this show reach more midlife women just like you who are ready to start building the life God actually designed them for. So until next time, keep choosing faith over fear, and don't you dare give up on your next chapter. I'll see you back here really soon.